United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Could we have a sunshine announcement, please, Cam?
Yes, good evening, Chairman, and good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, July 29th in the year 2025. This is a Jersey City Planning Board meeting with a scheduled 5:30 p.m. start time. And in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting has been given to the editor of the Bergen Record, El Espelito, and posted with the city clerk on July 24th of this year. This meeting was also posted on the Jersey City Division of City Planning webpage, and all distribution materials made available to the board were published and made available to the public.
Thank you. Could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Vice Chair Dr. Gonzalez.
Here.
Commissioner Wick.
Here.
Commissioner Torres. Commissioner Stamato.
Here.
Commissioner Lipsky.
Here.
Commissioner Dr. Desai.
Here.
And Chairman Langston.
Here.
All right, we have 7 commissioners present. We have a quorum.
All right. Do we have correspondence, Cam?
Yes, Chairman, we have 5 items that have requested to carry, and those items are under new business continued. So that is item 16 on the agenda, case P 2025-0048. Address is 590 Grand Street for a preliminary and final major site plan with variances. They've requested to carry with preservation of notice to August 26th of this year. And then right after that, item 17 on the agenda, cases P 2023-0107. It's a preliminary major site plan and preliminary and final major site plan with variances at 590 Grand, and this is also requested to carry with preservation of notice to August 26th of this year. And moving right down the list, item 18 on the agenda, P 2024-0199. That is a minor site plan with C variances at 10 Exchange Place. They've requested to carry with preservation of notice to September 9th of this year. And then item 19 on the agenda, P 2024-0102. Address is 111 Colden Street for a preliminary and final major site plan with C variances. They've requested to carry with preservation of notice to August 26th of this year. And I believe Mr. Wine.
Just hold off, if it's okay, Cam, hold off on carrying number 20.
Okay, we will hold off on carrying item 20.
Mr. Burke, we're carrying that 111 Colden Street?
Yes, we are, Council.
Okay.
Okay. So that concludes correspondence, Chair.
Okay. Thanks, Cam. Thank you. Could we swear in the staff, please, Mike? Forgot about you.
I see Matt, John Root, Matt, Ben, Tanya, Sophia, and Cam. Do you guys swear any testimony you give tonight is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
And the sunshine announcement is marked as B1 in evidence.
Okay. Thank you, Cam. Mr. Joseph, do you want to come up, please?
Stephen Joseph, Castano Quigley-Trani.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you? I want to apologize to everybody. We were supposed to renotice for 87 Bright Street. We failed to do that. I think this is the first time we've ever not noticed for something. Of course, it's on this application. I've wasted a lot of people's time this evening. I owed a lot of people a lot of drinks, so I'm very sorry about that.
Can't accept that, but thank you. Do we have a date yet?
So I think we were going to have some discussions about potentially a special meeting or figuring out a time, a appropriate regular meeting to have it. I think we're going to work that out this week and then notice for that meeting.
And Cam, I don't know if you want to write these down. I have a couple dates that I can't make, and I want to make sure I'm here for that application. August 26th is a no for me, and October 7th is a no for me.
Okay, noted. We will take that into consideration when we
Okay.
schedule.
Thank you. Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
A lot of adjournments on here. All right, let's jump into old business under item 7A is case P20250110 is a site plan extension for 252 Monticello Avenue.
Good evening, Stephen Joseph, Cassano Quigley Trami. This is an extension application for 252 Monticello. There's already been 2 extensions granted on this one. This is the third and the final extension. If this is granted, the approvals will expire May 18th, 2026. The reasoning for this is the applicant is an artist, I believe a certified artist with Jersey City, not a developer, trying to work out the financing for the studio.
Okay, any questions, anybody?
No.
All right, thank you. Is there anybody here from public that wants to comment?
Seeing
Anyone
no-
from public?
Seeing no public, I move to close.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded. Public is closed. Ben, do you have anything you want to add?
Staff recommends that all conditions of approval remain in full force and effect, and staff recommends approval of this motion.
All right, thank you, Council.
sir.
You're okay with that?
Acceptable, of course.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve case P 2025-0110 as presented to the board here tonight.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded for approval.
Vice Chair Dr. Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Whip?
Aye.
Commissioner Torres?
Aye.
Commissioner Sabata?
Aye.
Commissioner Levy?
Aye.
Commissioner Dr. Desai?
Aye.
And Chairman Lang?
Aye.
The motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Council. All right, let's move on to item B, is case P2025-0118. I think I glitched there. Preliminary and final major site plan amendment with variances for 535 Monmouth Street.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Ronald Shalgian from Schuman Hanlon, appearing on behalf of the applicant, Newport Associates Development Company. With respect to this application, the present extension expires in August 23rd, 2024. 2025. We'd like a one-year extension. As a matter of fact, there's a site plan amendment that is I think, is being filed shortly for a change due to the elevations in the floodplain. And I'm going to be coming before the board on that application probably in the next month or so. So I would appreciate it. One-year extension. This is the second extension.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, anybody?
No.
No.
All right, is there anybody here from public that wants to comment? Anyone from public?
Seeing no public, I move to close.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Public is closed.
Quick
Sophia,
tonight.
you have anything?
Staff asks that the conditions of the original approval remain in full force and effect. Okay, and then staff recommends approval.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve case P 2025-0118 as presented to our board tonight.
Second it.
All right, motion made and seconded for approval. Roll call, please.
Vice Chair Dr. Gonzalez,
Aye.
Commissioner Wick,
Aye.
Commissioner Torres, Commissioner Stamato,
Aye.
Commissioner Lipsky,
Aye.
Commissioner Dr. Desai,
Aye.
and Chairman Langston.
Aye.
Motion carries all in favor with conditions.
Okay, thank you. So let's move on. Thank you, Council. Let's move on to new business. Item 9 is case P2025-0114. Is the redevelopment study and preliminary investigation report on 155 Montgomery Street as an area in need of redevelopment without the powers of condemnation. Formal action may be taken tonight.
God bless you.
Okay, so we don't have the hard copy, but the notices are on the portal. I'm scrolling them up now so you can kind of see. But we did notice appropriately for the study, which is redevelopment with no condemnation, so we did have to meet the notice standards to notice the owner.
All right, so for the record, we're going to mark that as, I like to use the letter B, so B1 is the notice.
Thank you.
Okay, so I will be quick, even though we have plenty of time. I mean, we do. So this is I don't know if you want to also mark this in evidence. This is the presentation of the report. It is not the report. It is not a substitution for the report, but we will just be going through the highlighted points. It is for the determination for the study area of Block 313103, Lot 1, an area in need of redevelopment without the power of condemnation.
We're going to mark it as B2.
Okay, so we're a little familiar with the area. Here's an aerial. The red arrow is depicting the site, which is more commonly known as 155 Montgomery. And you can see that to the north is Montgomery Street, Metropolis Towers, even though it's cut off a little bit. If you're not familiar with Metropolis Towers, they're two 20-story buildings in a kind of sea of parking. City Hall to the west, and Marin Boulevard to the west of that little text Marin Boulevard. It's actually the parking, the secondary parking lot for City Hall employees. Behind the school, behind the parking lot is the OLC school, and that's actually along York Street that becomes the historic district. And directly to the east are Montgomery Towers. So you have a kind of an idea of where we are. This might make it a little bit even more familiar. The site is currently utilized as commercial parking. And this is from the Marin Boulevard. What's cut off right here, kind of on the left side, is the statue. So you get a little bit of if you're trying to figure out where you are, commercial parking, and it is all enclosed within fencing, and there's one entrance along Montgomery. So it is currently part of the Gregory Park redevelopment plan. The yellow dot is the site that we're looking at. It is surrounded by the brown is the historic district, specifically the Van Voorst Historic District. And even though they're not bordering or touching, you can kind of see within the area there's the Majestic Theater redevelopment plan and the Grand Street redevelopment plan. And all the way to the bottom, at least I guess my left, if you're looking at it, is Liberty Harbor North. So this is currently in a redevelopment plan already. So part of why we're here and part of why we're doing this is that the Gregory Park redevelopment plan is the oldest redevelopment plan in Jersey City. I believe it's 1955. I don't know exactly. And within the redevelopment plan, there's a language that says the redevelopment plan expires. Now, without getting too crazy, basically, because it can be convoluted and trying to figure out what that means, what we definitely know for sure is that maybe the designation is not what it would be. We need to relook at it to determine if it still meets the area in need of redevelopment standards versus what it did not just 50 years ago. It's 60, 70? How old am I? This is pretty sad. I would have just said that I was 50, but it's more than that, isn't it? Yeah, years ago, if it still meets the standards. So some of the plan has been built out. The towers in the park, Gregory Park, Metropolis Towers, some of the plan has already kind of come to fruition, except for this site. And commercial parking is not a permitted use, even though it's existed there for, I'm sure, as long as many of you can remember. I believe it existed from at least the 1960s back from what we can date. So this designation is a way for us to ensure that it still meets the area in need of redevelopment without using the condemnation powers. I'm going to go through some of the criteria. I know we have a new commissioner. So the redevelopment, you might hear us usually use the words municipal land use law, and that's the state statute that kind of guides what we do here legally. But the redevelopment law is done for the local housing redevelopment law, which is another state statute that legislates redevelopment. And in order to do that, there's a couple of things that you have to do. One, of course, is a resolution. And there is a resolution that was done here by City Council authorizing this board, authorizing the Department of Planning to conduct the study to determine if it meets the needs, it meets the criteria for redevelopment. Within that statute, there's letters, basically, right? And there's various criteria. So it's up to us to do the study. We do conduct an on-site kind of physical study. We look back into the tax records, the owners, and then go ahead and determine which one of the criteria can be met to see if it actually meets the standards that you need in order to achieve that redevelopment status. So there's a lot of words, and again, this doesn't replace the report. The report is on the portal, but I kind of want to go over these things, and I'm not going to read them verbatim because there are a lot of words. So subsection D, I think what we're focusing most on is the obsolescence. And it is a parking lot, and there is some back and forth about whether surface parking lot can just kind of generally be used as a criteria, but it's a parking lot that's within distance of a major transportation hub. So it is obsolescence in the sense that it is underperforming in an area that is less than even, I think, I did the radius, it's less than like 1,000 feet from the Grove Street Pass Station. It has super great transportation access, even if you weren't going to just use the path. You could also get on any bus. The site itself, if you're familiar with it, you can kind of look back, has access to bike lanes. So all of these things indicate that this site being used for surface parking is an underutilization of the site. Right? So that in itself, so again, the proximity to transit, the site itself, I'm just going to go back just as at least like we can all have the same conversation looking at the pictures together. You can see that it doesn't activate the streetscape. So the fact that this is 2 blocks away from the pass station and it is on the way to higher density buildings, taller buildings, this becomes a streetscape where people are walking, crossing all of the time coming from the historic district. If you're here, you always see a lot of people that are crossing at these intersections. So the streetscape itself having that kind of fence, it almost acts as this blank wall. And so the streetscape is not activated at all. And there's excessive land coverage, which in this area, the infrastructure is incredibly old. And to make matters worse, we have a 100% paved surface parking lot.
But Tanya, since you have that up, just a quick point is each one of those parking spots is taken. And so my dentist is down the block, and I know what it's like to try to get a parking space. So let's just say for kicks and giggles that we take this and we make this beautiful building. Now we have, that many fewer parking spots. So I get there's a hospital and there's a light rail not far and there's path and there's bikes and VIA and all these great things. But at the same time, would that include like we did with the Journal Square plan, allow for density bonuses for parking? And you're shaking your head. Good.
Yeah, so this is like part 1. Part 1 is we go ahead and we make the designation that it meets the standards for redevelopment. The part that seals in that redevelopment is the redevelopment plan. So things like making sure we can replace the public parking, having those conversations come in with the plan status. And that, there's nothing, nothing I'm going to talk about right now about the redevelopment plan, but I can tell you that some of the early preliminary meetings have been about kind of what are we going to do with this parking.
Thank you.
Subsection E, and again, I don't really want to go too far into it because it's going to come up in 2 weeks or 4 weeks from now, again, the conversation, but the redevelopment plan has expired. And so there does have some kind of ambiguity to what the zoning is. And that kind of meets the standards for subsection E, where we're really talking about diverse ownership, not being able to kind of put parcels together because we can't get people to agree. That's kind of the idea behind subsection E, but the reality is that when there's confusion and you can't put things together, or the lack of zoning, it becomes an issue that you need to get involved with for redevelopment. Now, again, this is not condemnation. I just want to make that clear. And finally, subsection 8, which is consistent with the smart growth principles. And I think some of that's going to be a little bit obvious, and I've already said it, which is the proximity to the light rail, mass transit, and mass transit specifically is the path, of course, and then the buses.
So Tanya, and stop me if you want to just keep rolling through, and I'll just save my question for after. Does that work for you?
Whatever works for you.
Well, while we're talking about the plan expiring,
Yeah.
is the plan currently expired? Is there a
Expired.
date? So we're not including it in a certain plan tonight. We're identifying.
Yes, this will be for a brand new plan.
Okay.
Right. It's for redevelopment to redesignate or newly designate this area based on the reality of the fact is that it's 70 years later
Sure.
and circumstances have changed. Yeah.
But that's not spelled out in any of the plan in front of us tonight, that it's included
There's
in this,
language in the report that talks about the expiration, but it doesn't go so far as to say,
that this is part of that plan.
Right,
Okay.
correct.
All right.
but it will be its own plan.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll come up with something more creative than Block 13103, Lot 1.
I'd love that.
And just to kind of close this out, it does, of course, meet the standards or the recommendations of our 2020 master plan. Our master plan does also nod to the fact that we have redevelopment plans, that we've had redevelopment plans since the 50s and the 60s, and that we have to really relook at these areas because some of them have been completely built out. Some of them are still in the process of redeveloping. This is one of the sites. If you think about it, how much of Jersey City downtown has redeveloped, everything around it, even within this plan, and the fact that this is not even a 5-minute walk away from the Grove Street Pass Station, and it still remains undeveloped, is part of what the master plan was talking about. Us being able to take a fresh look at the old redevelopment plans to figure out basically new zoning and to take advantage of the fact that we are so close and this site is so close to mass transit and being able to develop that into a higher density mixed use building. And then those are the two quotes that I have here from the master plan. That's the essence of the first one. And the essence of the second one really is that the redevelopment plan for the Gregory Park, for Metropolis Towers, was that towers and a sea of parking. And we don't develop like that anymore. We put the parking, we wrap it, we screen it in the building, and we incorporate it. And so instead, when somebody or the pedestrian is interacting with the building, they're not interacting with miles and miles of asphalt. They're interacting with buildings, more things like that. So it does meet the recommendations of the master plan. I believe that it meets the criteria of D, E, and H. And that's really the extent of the report. I can answer questions, but I mean, ultimately, obviously, staff is recommending or staff is agreeing that it does meet the criteria for area need of redevelopment without condemnation, and that it should be recommended to City Council for such.
Okay, thanks.
Sonia, I have a question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Pat.
So what you're saying, let's see if I understand this. The existing parking number of spots you have now, if they were going to build on this location, it would also include the same number of vehicles that you have there now, plus whatever the new facility or building.
I'm not saying any of that, but it is a possibility. Those are the conversations for the redevelopment plan creation.
The only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm asking, is because I believe somebody had made a comment before about the existing parking and how vital it is, and it's, like it was pointed out, every spot is filled for that, lot. And there's nothing except the parking. So I would like to see, if at all possible, is have the same number of vehicles being able to park there on the outside, and anything above that you're putting up above that, I would like to see that utilized.
When,
So
when-
that's the next
right,
conversation.
when we're talking
Well,
with talking with the owners, developers, it is something that we can remember that we had this conversation with the planning board, and we can bring it up.
I won't
and we're gonna
forget.
be a part of the conversation.
All right, thanks.
And
I have
my
a-
doctor's down the street too.
You know, I have a
They're my
question.
doctors too.
You go to City Hall and there is no parking.
That's right.
And you're going to take away all this parking. So whatever building they build, there should be 3 floors of parking before they build the apartments and anything.
I think the message is well received.
So there's other public parking there. It
Yes,
might not
there
be
are.
an outdoor
That's right.
surface lot, but there's
Right.
other garages in the area that you can park in.
That's correct.
I totally
But they're,
agree.
Go ahead,
They're all
Steve.
filled, that's
they're
the
far
problem.
and few in between.
Especially exchange place you go,
Yeah.
there is nice walk and everything. Only thing there is no parking.
There's
So how are you going to
there's
go
Whole
there?
Foods parking lot. There are actually, we overbuilt parking. I know nobody thinks that, but we did overbuild parking in a lot of our earlier waterfront buildings, which is why a lot of those parking lots, the garages are public commercial parking.
But again, that's
We're
Not
way
up for
outside.
Not today. Not for today.
Way
Today is really
outside what-
right. Today
what
is
we're
really
tasked
what
with.
does it meet the criteria established within the local housing redevelopment law
Just
in
keep
order
it
to
in
be
mind.
designated for redevelopment. Correct.
I have a question. Tanya, I just have a concern, not on the plan itself. It's 70 years old, the Gregory plan. It's going to be changed. It's going to be deleted out. So essentially, surface parking is not allowed in Jersey City. Okay. My concern is the plan that was already developed already, the housing that's there. We've seen a change in the Gregory apartments with more of subsidized housing, too, in the building. Would that affect any changes in this plan now to those buildings that exist? Because there is no plan no more. So now we could turn around and not have the Section 8 there.
So there still is a plan. We're not touching any of the buildings outside of this block. This study is only for this.
It's only for this.
I know that there's confusion when we say things like expiration, and I kind of tongue in cheek said it's something that we have to deal with in a few weeks when we're talking with the Chapel Ave application. But right now, there's a determination from the zoning board based on an appeal that the zoning remains. Right? That is as far as it goes. So the zoning remains for Gregory Park. The thing that is in question and in flux is that designation, right? And after something has been developed within redevelopment, they usually get the certificate of completeness, and they do that in order for you can't eminent domain it. You can't re-condemn it.
Okay.
So the zoning for Gregory Park, as it stands. If somebody wanted, if this developer wanted to develop exactly as the plan reads today, I wouldn't say that we needed a new designation. I'd say you can go to the zoning, this is not the zoning board, I didn't say that, go to the planning board and get your approvals. But because of the fact that we are looking to change the zoning, the better place to start would be to redesignate, to make the determination that it still meets those criteria. The criteria is different even than it was in 1950. Yeah.
Well, and that's really the key, right, is the fact that this was designated, it's within the plan. Whether the plan is, or there's some ambiguity in the plan as to how it expires, when it expires, et cetera, this piece was designated when it was designated and met the criteria when that happened, rather than perhaps just amend the plan knowing that that designation is as old as it is. The prudent thing to do is to look at it and make sure, okay, it meets today's criteria to be designated, and then we can go through the redevelopment process, because as we all know up here, we don't want to learn about something 6 months, 8 months, 2 years down the road after we've spent the time, energy, and money, and you should have gone back and looked at it and redesignated it. Not that it wouldn't have qualified, but you should have started there. So this is the prudent way to go. See if, as it sits today, it meets the criteria under the statute, and recommend to the council how they move forward, because we don't make the designation. It's the council. Same thing then that happens when the redevelopment plan appears before us, whether it's an amendment, a new plan, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I just want to be clear that, you know, I understand the park, the zoning for the site itself. You know, I've walked there my whole life, you know, it's like, you know, by that parking lot. So basically, I understand that part. It's just when we talk about a plan being 70 years old, and it's like, I just want to be clear that nothing's going to happen to the senior citizens and the people that are in the other part of the plan that was developed and established.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Anybody?
No, I don't think so.
All right, anything, Tanya?
That's it.
Okay, is anybody here from public that wants to comment on this application?
Seeing no public, I move to close.
Second.
All right, motion is made and seconded. Public is closed. Tanya, obviously, we have your recommendation, so.
Yes, I do recommend that it be recommended.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve case P 2025-0114, redevelopment study and preliminary investigation report on 155 Montgomery Street as an area in need of redevelopment without the powers of condemnation, and forward to City Council for formal adoption.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded for approval.
Vice Chairman Dr. Gonzalez,
I think this is good. I vote aye.
Commissioner Wick,
Aye.
Commissioner Torres, Commissioner Stamato,
Aye.
Commissioner Lipsky,
Aye to recommend the recommendation.
Commissioner Dr. Desai,
Aye.
and Chairman Langston.
So, obviously, it checks every box we need it to here. And that's as far as this board goes tonight. So it's in City Council's hand at this point, and it's an easy one. It's an aye for me.
Motion carries, all in favor to approve with a favorable recommendation to City Council.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to item 10, is case P2024-0147, is a preliminary and final major site plan amendment with variances for 301 West Side Avenue. Good evening, council.
Good evening, everybody. James McCann from the law firm of Connell Foley, appearing on behalf of the applicant in this matter. My architect is going to take just a few moments to set up.
Sure.
In the meantime, council, this is a notice case. This is an amendment to a site plan that was previously granted in 2023 with some deviations and variances. So we did notice. I'm going to tender my notice to you and ask that you mark it as A1.
Sorry about that.
Sure, and see the affidavit of publication, proof of mailing with respect to the application at 277-301 West Side Avenue here in the city. Does appear to be in order. I'm going to mark it as A1 for purposes of the record.
Thank you, council.
So, board members, just to give you a little bit of background on this to hopefully make this a little bit more of an efficient presentation. This property is at 277-301 West Side Ave and 19-23 Fisk. It's block 22103, formerly and previously lots 5, 13, and 14. However, the tax assessor has consolidated the lots, and so we have in our application that it's also known now as lot 5.01. This property is on the corner of West Side Avenue and Fisk Street. It's in the West Side Avenue redevelopment plan. The property spans two districts, the Loft Residential District and the Residential District. The redevelopment plan provides that if your property is in the Lofts Residential District, if you meet certain requirements, you can develop it in accordance with the Residential District. And that is exactly how this project was approved in 2023. Also, the previous approval takes advantage of and uses the Affordable Housing Overlay Zone, overlay requirements, Section 345, 59.7 of the JCLDO. So this project currently has 10% affordable housing and will continue to do so if this amendment is granted. As I said, the approved project was was in 2023. It's case P 22-069. It was a preliminary and final site plan approval with deviations and variances. And effectively, the project is an adaptive reuse of an existing two-story industrial building on the corner of West Side and Fisk, along with the construction of a new six-story building that will have at the time it was approved, would have 200 residential units, 100 parking spaces, and a structured parking garage within the building with stackers. And that was primarily along Fisk Street, which is the residential section of the residential district of the redevelopment plan. This amendment is very limited. It has a little bit of detail to it, but effectively, you are still going to see a six-story residential building. It will have a slightly modified footprint, reconfigured interior, and changes to the unit mix. The adaptive reuse building will just be about exactly the same, with some interior changes and the addition of 2 residential units. So if you approve this amendment, the project will now have 202 residential units, 20 affordable housing units in accordance with the LDO, and the developer will pay an additional $36,000 toward the Affordable Housing Fund for the increase in 2 units. The parking garage will continue to have 100 parking spaces. However, there will be a reduced number of stackers because the parking garage has been reconfigured. That's kind of a summary of what you're going to see the architect present. I have 2 witnesses really tonight, the architect for the project and also a professional planner to explain some of the adjustments to the deviations and variances, because every deviation you're going to see tonight has already been granted. However, the building has been reconfigured slightly, so some of the deviations and variances have changed by literally a de minimis amount. In some cases, 1 foot. In other cases, 6 inches. But we still have to explain it to you and how to provide notice for it. Just one last thing. My client is not the original developer or the original applicant from 2023. My client, the applicant now, purchased the property from the applicant that this board approved in 2023. Hence, a redesign of the project. We have a new architect, a new civil engineering firm, but the same planner. I'll call my first witness unless anybody has any questions.
No, go ahead.
Yes, I do. My name is Anwar Al-Khatib, A-N-W-A-R. Last name is A-L-K-H-A-T-I-B.
Good evening, sir. I believe we've qualified you in the past, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Your license is current in New Jersey tonight?
It is.
All right. Thank you. You're qualified.
Can I be said
Yeah,
there?
so just let me ask you a couple of questions. So you're familiar with the redevelopment?
Counsel, if you could just speak into that mic so the kids on YouTube can hear you tomorrow.
Hello. Hello. Is this on? So Anwar, you're familiar with the West Side redevelopment plan, correct?
Yes.
And you've reviewed it for tonight's presentation?
That's correct,
And
yes.
you've reviewed it in connection with the plans you've prepared?
That's correct, yes.
And you're also familiar with the previous plans that were approved by this board?
Yes.
And you've used those plans to provide a set of amended plans with changes to the project, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Take over the presentation.
That mic should work. Just tap. There's a button. Yeah, there it is.
Council,
Good
let's
evening,
identify
everyone.
the exhibit and mark it, please.
Yes.
So Anwar, your slideshow, can you tell us how many slides it is?
Okay, so we have 25 slides.
You'll have to reconnect the HDMI.
Oh.
Yeah, you move your computer and it's disconnected. Oh boy. It's very sensitive.
Maybe it's disconnected from here.
It's down below you, it's underneath the table. Right, there's a little box under the table.
Just try disconnecting and reconnecting your cable out of your computer. Just pull it out. Just give it a second.
This is all part of the test.
No matter, I always feel like I've done something wrong when nothing happens. Even if it has nothing to do with me.
Maybe from the bottom. Oh.
Come on, Mr. Salzman, won't you?
This one's shut down. This one's shut down. Yeah, we can try this one. There is.
It works, we don't touch it.
Did it work?
Do you have another HDMI?
All right, can you get some of the HDMI wires?
Yes, please. Yes. Yes. Your pen.
All right, you gotta use voice command.
Okay, so back on the record. I believe it was 25 slides, request that they be marked as A2.
Correct, yes. The slides that we've been showing you are taken from the pages of the application that we submitted. So all the drawings that we have in the file, all these slides are taken from it. So nothing is added to the drawings. So we just taking pieces of that application and just explain it to you guys so I can understand what we're doing here.
All right, so we're gonna mark it as A2 and we can submit it after the hearing for
Thank you.
the file.
Okay, so as stated on the introduction of the project, we, as an architects, were hired to take a look at this existing building and to do some modification on it in terms of the parking, the apartments layouts, and also try to see if we can add additional units on the existing building. So this slide here is taken from the approved drawing G-100, which shows the approved plot plan of the project. Shows, you know, that we have a 6-story building, a courtyard in the middle, and we have an existing 2-story building, which is right now it's called a historical building, on the corner of Fisk and West Side Avenue. I'm showing this just to compare with the proposed site plan that we have, which is the amended site plan. Shows also still have a 6-story building, courtyard in the 2nd floor, and the existing 2-story building remains as 2-story building with different types of uses that we have inside it. So just a brief description of the plot plan of the two applications. The approved ground floor plan, which was from the previous application, shows a parameter of the building. So I'm trying to show this slide to show the parameter of the existing ground floor versus the parameter of the proposed ground floor, so we can understand how much of changes happen to the envelope of the building. So if we look at the blue line here, wrapping the ground floor, this is what was approved on the previous application. And the red line, which shows what we're proposing to do to this approved amendment. So if you can see, it's very slightly changes on the rear yard, slightly change on the corner of Fisk Street by wherever the new building is touching the existing building, and also slight change on West Side Avenue when we have portion of our courtyard or like setback is a little bit increased, and the other portion of the street level is being like more straight out instead of having this bump out. So it's very minimum in terms of envelope changes on this project. The next slide I'm showing is the comparison on the zoning chart, which is prepared by our civil engineer. All the arrows that we have in this zoning chart shows that there's no changes. So I'm gonna just highlight the areas that we have some changes on. So if we see we have the minimum side yard and West Side Avenue, I'm highlighting in two different colors. I have the yellow highlight and the orange highlight. The yellow highlight shows that we improved slightly the setbacks by creating a new envelope, and the orange highlighted area shows like small changes that happens to the setbacks that will increase the variance that we have there so far. So looking at the side yard, the approved was 0.4 feet, and it was a deviation on a variance, and we improved to 1.2. So the improvement is very minimum. Also, the other side of the yard is 2.8. We changed it to be a 2.3. So we increased the variance by 0.5 foot, which is 6 inches. Next, you see the 9.6 foot yard, which is another side yard. We changed it to be 9.9. So it's improved of 0.3 foot of a yard. The rear yard also was changed from the approved 12.3 as a deviation as well. We improved it to 12.5, so it's a 0.2 feet changes as improvement. The maximum building coverage was changed from 88.3. Now the variance, the setbacks, the lot coverage increased to 88.6. So it's a 0.3% of changes from the approved to the amendment. At the same time, the lot coverage is improved from 95.4 to 94.7. So the changes that we have, they're very much offsetting itself. So we improve portion of a foot in some locations. We have some issues or like some additional variances, a portion of a foot in other locations.
So Anwar, just to clarify, what you're saying is deviations that were previously granted, in some cases, you reduce the amount of the deviation.
Correct.
And in one or two cases, you expanded the amount of the deviations.
That's correct.
But in all cases, they're very minimal changes.
Correct, yes. So,
and they're reflected by the red on the previous slide, correct?
Correct. On the slide that you have here, you see the yellow, the highlight yellow, there's improvement on the deviations, and the orange, you can say like the additional variances on the same existing deviation.
Okay, thank you.
So the rear yard, I'm showing another slide here which shows the side yard and the rear yard, whatever we have the changes. So the red numbers, the 0.4 side yard and the 12.3 rear yard, that represents the existing setbacks that were improved by the new application. The 2.8 side yard, which is shows in green, that shows the side yard that was like changed to a negative condition on the second application. So if we move to the proposed plan, we see the side yard is improved to 1.2 from the approved 0.4. The side yard was changed from 2.8, we're proposing now 2.3, and the rear yard is improved to 12.5 from the 12.3 approved rear yard. So this is basically the changes that happens in the building envelope and the setbacks.
And Anwar, would any of these changes impact the surrounding area, the streetscape?
No, but
to de minimis, correct?
Very minimum, especially in the side yard. That's, you're talking about less than a foot of improvement or less than a foot of like this improvement.
No impact on the light and air surround in the
No,
neighborhood?
no, nothing.
Would a pedestrian walking by even notice these deviations?
I don't think so.
Changes to the deviations?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now I want to go just very briefly of the approved ground floor functions that were changed on this application. So this slide represents the A-101, which is the approved floor plan. And it shows here that we have the main entrance of the residential building at Fisk Street, represented by the purple color. We have an amenity/retail, which I think they call it commercial amenity at that time. And we have also an amenity, pure amenity for the building. So the amenity was shown in the orange color, and the amenity, commercial amenity shows as a gray color. The commercial amenity was approved to be along West Side Avenue. The amenity of the building was approved to be on Fisk Street. Also, this approved plan shows that existing parking with existing stackers. At that time we took over this project, when we did the first analysis, we noticed that there is no columns in the parking itself. So that's one of the reasons that we have to redesign the parking. There was no way we can design a 6-story building on this parking with that open of span with no columns. Adding more columns, you need more space, so we need to redesign the building itself.
So the original developer or applicant would have had to come back to this board anyway, correct? Because when they did the site plan design, they didn't account for the fact that when you
Yes.
advance the design to construction,
That's correct.
you
That's
need to have
correct.
columns.
Yes, that's especially then the parking spaces are 8.5 feet. So adding columns will require you to reconfigure the floor plan completely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And also our client, he did the best he can do to reduce the amount of stackers. I think there were about like 70 parking spaces that were stackers in this application. So we're trying to reconfigure the parking spaces and parking design and the entire ground floor to reduce the number of stackers to a minimum number.
So you were able to fit more conventional parking spaces into the redesigned garage.
That's correct.
Okay.
So if
But we
we
still end up with 100, but we have fewer stackers.
That's correct. The number didn't change, but we have like half of the stackers now in this case. The approved application shows also the trash and recycle removal for the building through a corridor on the back of the building toward West Side Avenue. That shows in the brown color that we have here. Also the approved application has vertical circulation for the tenants on the Fisk Street entrance with 2 elevators. So in the proposed floor plan that we have after we did all these changes and the adjustments, we relocated the entrance of the lobby to be from Fisk Street to West Side Avenue, and the amenity commercial space remains on the West Side Avenue within the existing building. We added an additional lobby to the project on Fisk Street, so we call the secondary entrance, and the circulation of the parking itself as driveways remain as the approved ones. We didn't change any circulation in terms of parking, entrance and exits. We added the columns to this project. We reconfigured the design a little bit better, and we added, more standard parking spaces and less stackers. So now we end up being only with 24 stackers in this case, which is total 48 parking spaces. The remaining will be regular standard parking spaces. The total of 100 spaces remain the same. And this is the column that we added. So if you see the amount of columns that we have to add in this building, for sure they will change the design of the previous application. The trash and recycle removal for this project changed. We kept the area location of the compactor room and the recycle bins are the same, very much the same location, same area, but closer to Fisk Street. So now the access and discharge of the recycled trash will be from the building toward Fisk Street instead of being toward West Side Avenue. At the same time, both of them have this own corridor, so nothing changed in terms of the function. Will be the same function except different access from West Side now to Fisk Street. What we did here also in this improvement that we added 3 elevators in this building instead of only 2 elevators in one location. So we distribute the elevators in this huge parking area that we have. in 3 different locations. So now the residents in this project will have better access to the upper floors. Instead of parking, for example, in the north section and you have to walk all the way down to the south, they have 3 access points to go to the upper portion of the building. So that's a big improvement that we added to this building for a better circulation for our future tenants. Moving up to the second floor, so the approved second floor plan shows the amenity space on the existing building and show distribution of the new apartments on the proposed building with a courtyard, which includes sitting areas and a pool. What we're proposing to do was not much different than we had before, except that we divided the amenity space into a smaller area because we want to add more amenity on the upper floors. And we added 2 apartments, these are the 2 apartments that changes the count on this application from 200 to 202. The new 2 apartments will be located in the corner of the existing building, and they will be accessible from the proposed building through the same corridor. So they will have a full access to the building as well. The amenity space, the location of the pool also has changed slightly from the right side of the courtyard more to the left side. We try to have a better communication between the pool and the amenity space, so have a direct access between them, and the rest of the open amenity space will be distributed with some sitting areas. The approved application was not was not showing that much of circulation on the courtyard. We just try to improve a little bit better and have more functions to be more defined. So that's now when you see all the sitting areas on the proposed amenity space and the pool with a hot tub next to it. It's very much detailed right now. Moving to the 3rd floor, so the approved application, this is the approved plan. It shows that the roof of the existing building was only a green roof with no functions to be used. The remaining of the 3rd floor of the new building would have the residential apartments. We kept the same thing, the same concept, except the roof itself of the existing building is used now as an amenity space, an open amenity space connected to the proposed 3rd-story building. So instead of having the only green roof in this area, we moved the green roof to the main roof of the new building, and we convert this roof to be an amenity space for sitting areas, some hanging out locations for the building tenants. We set back the amenity space on the roof about like 3 feet from the parapet, so we have minimum visibility from the street to the functions that will be done in this amenity space. Also, one improvement we added to this building, and the previous application we didn't have any balconies on the courtyard. All the balconies on the approved plan were on the outside facing the streets, so we added balconies for the residents facing the courtyard, which is a nice improvement for the future tenants that will have better view to the courtyard and better function to, use the beauty of that we have in the courtyard. The remaining of the floor plans are just typical residential apartments. The changes will be only in the apartments themselves and the apartment layouts. Nothing changed in terms of functions. So I want to jump now just to the approved roof plan, which is have slightly changes too. So this slide shows the approved roof plan, which was the deck area, which is the open amenity space, facing Fisk Street, with access to the elevators on the south portion of the building. What we propose to do right now is we move that open deck amenity space to the north portion of the building, closer to the West Side Avenue, and we added additional green roof on the entire leg of the north portion of this building. The approved plan didn't have any green roof on the proposed building. This one has a lot of improvement. We added the entire side as a green roof. This sheet also is part of the application that we have, shows the comparison between the approved areas, gross areas for the building, and amended areas on this application. So if you can see here, the approved gross area for the application was 213,282 square feet. We're proposing to have 216,620 square feet. So the 3,000 square feet extra, that what created some of the changes on the building layout itself and probably pushed some of the setback to change slightly from what was approved before. And also we show here that the approved residential counts changed from 200 units to 202 units. In terms of the apartment themselves, there's slightly changes on the apartment. We try to just reconfigure the interior of the apartment. So, for example, this is a typical studio that was approved, 431 gross area for square footage, with a kitchen, bathroom, 2 closets. What we did is we improved it to 497 square feet. We created a washer and dryer in the area with a small alcove for sleeping space. And we added a balcony for the apartments that are facing the courtyard. But in general, the shape and the geometry of the studio itself didn't change that much. And again, a 1-bedroom apartment, it was approved. This is like a typical one, about 690 square feet, has a kitchen, bathroom, walk-in closet, a washer and dryer, and a bedroom. We're proposing to have very much the same design, some reconfiguration. We enlarged the closet a little bit more. We tried to have the bathroom, change in orientation, but in general, the area of the apartment, 609 to 611 square feet, not that much of a change, and the layout is not. The function is very much the same. In terms of 2-bedroom units, same thing. This is one approved plan. It shows 2-bedroom units with 2 bathrooms. Our 2-bedroom units that we proposed has the same function, 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, washer and dryer, hot water heater, PTAC heating and cooling system similar to what was approved. Slightly changes on the layout, but not much to just go over it like in detail. Also, we have a couple of 3-bedroom units in this building. Same thing. The approved 3-bedroom units, changed because the approved application shows the 3-bedroom units with 1 bathroom. We redesigned the apartment just to add a secondary bathroom, the 3-bedroom units. So now we added more bathrooms into the application for the 3-bedroom units. The square footage of the 3 bedrooms that we're proposing is a little bit bigger than was approved, but in general, they have PTACs, they have washer and dryers, they have L kitchen, so very much the same only for the exception of adding an extra bathroom in this design. Moving to the materials, this slide shows the approved materials on the previous application. So clearly we can see we have, it was approved to have a brick. We have some fiber cement board panels. We have limestone on the ground floor. We have black windows. We have some, these are like pedestals for the open deck, and aluminum storefronts with a black color. What we're proposing to do is we very much kept the same, but we just improved a little bit. The color of the bricks is more warm color now. We also are using the warm color of the limestone. We're still using fiber cement, similar, has a wood look. We have some samples here when I add as an exhibit for the application. The black color of the windows remain the same. Black storefronts the same. Very much the material we're using similar to what was approved, but in terms of the building design, it changed in location. The approved signage in the previous application, the main entry was Fisk Street, and the existing building has an access to be also from West Avenue. So what we changed is this was approved previously. They have all the signages, channel letters located above the canopy of the building. We're proposing is not much different. We still have channel letters. Our main building identity has changed from Fisk Street to West Side. So our 301 West Side signages will be next to our lobby. We have the sizes here. We're in compliance with the square footage of the signages. We have our main sign on the West Side Avenue, and we have another smaller signage on Fisk Street to have an entrance for the residential in that location. This is the approved rendering. So as you can see, the building was a full brick building with some, I believe it was called also as stucco cement board panels and black windows, but the brick was all the way from the ground floor all the way to the top. This is on the main elevation, which is Fisk Street and West Side Avenue. And there's a Mueller located also in the corner of Fisk Street and West Side Avenue above the 301 West Side Avenue entrance. What we're proposing to have is we kept the location of the mural very much the same, but we changed the material now, so we have this limestone on the ground floor instead of brick as approved, and then we have the brick itself from the second floor going all the way up and divided into between sections. So wherever we have balconies facing West Side Avenue or Fisk Street will receive cement board with different colors. The border of these balconies will be a black color. The inside of these balconies will have a cement board that has a wood look material, like similar to what we have here. You have the colors there, but we have a sample, so it will be similar to this color. And this is another view from Fisk Street. It clearly shows, how the orientation and the distribution of the material on West Side on the Fisk Street will look. So we have, very much the same. The balconies dividing the building vertically into areas with brick and areas with fiber cement. And on the ground floor, we have the entire limestone covering the parking structure, covering also the entrance for the lobby. The existing building I was approved, it was supposed to be plastered and recolored. We kept the same identity of what was approved before, so no changes on the existing building material, except for just the green roof replacement with an outdoor amenity space. And that's the presentation that I have today.
Thank you. That was good. Any questions from the board?
I have none. Anybody else?
I had a quick one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Al-Khatib. The studios that you added a balcony on the court side,
Yes.
courtyard side. Are they in the square footage? Does that include the balconies?
No.
Okay.
No, the balconies were not added in the gross area. So
Got you.
because
Yes,
it's-
I didn't think so, but so they have a little bit more square
Yes.
footage, obviously. Okay.
That's
Okay.
correct.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
So-
Anybody else?
On the question about balconies on the courtyard side, do you have anything in the elevation drawings showing that?
Yeah, on the elevations, it's on the application. I can share them here if you want. Let's see. You have the USB?
Now, this courtyard, it's for the people to sit down, stay there.
Yes.
Children are going to be playing down there and everything in that section of the courtyard, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So I have a little thing with balconies.
Yes.
So,
I heard.
you heard about it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We're ready.
So, I mean, I don't think we should ever make a swimming pool out of a balcony by putting a kick plate that doesn't allow the water to flow out. That'll be dangerous to the building itself. It's not a good idea. But you keep in mind any type of things that one of you architects could come up with, so I don't have to keep figuring this up one day.
Yeah, I
that-
understand the concern
That
about.
allows the water to leave the balcony, right?
Correct, yes.
But doesn't allow anything else to go down and hit somebody that is
That's correct, yes.
with their child or adult or anybody that's they're enjoying the courtyard.
That's correct. We have, first, we're trying to have the pitch of the balconies to very much to be into the middle of the balcony itself without laying it down. Plus, we have a horizontal railing on the bottom. And the horizontal railing would be like spaced double, like 2 inches only.
2 inches only.
Yeah, so that
Okay.
the water can come out, but it will stop anything like that. Also, in addition, we have the square edges of people do the square edges. We change it to round edges, so nobody can put any kind of material or like
On
cobbles
top.
on top of the railing.
On top of the
for
railing.
potential falling down.
Very good.
We have that already addressed on the drawings. There was some reason application, so
So you have a space underneath the railings, and it's less than 4 inches. You're saying
2 inches.
2 inches.
Yes, yes. So we'll have a scupper there.
No, that's a plus. That's a mostly they're 4 inches, and that boggles my mind.
Yeah,
every
the
time I
code-
see
the
it.
code
Why-
gives you maximum 4
yeah,
inches.
why
Yeah.
4 inches? You know.
Yeah, but in this case, we have-
somebody's cat's gonna kick the ball right out. From underneath there.
The other application we have, just to clear, we probably will do a curb also That's another thing that we have. And the curb will have only scoppers on it, so there is no way anything to roll. It will stop by the curb. So the scoppers will take care of the water instead of having the full open balcony.
I understand, yeah. I just don't, I like the fact that it's not, it doesn't have to be 4 inches. It's, why is it so wide? I'm big down there. Also, I'm a plumber by trade, so I don't believe that taping it, copper thing on the side, allowing water to sit there or something like that and making it harder for it to drain, it's a good idea either, you know?
Yes, we have
Because otherwise you have water damage, right? So yeah, that we don't want, because you're looking at it in a 10-year, 20-year idea, right? Not, you know, not when you first build it, it's not a problem, but when you go down the years past, water can become a problem. You know, so we don't want.
We have floor drains that have to be repaired all the time and maintained. Also, the good thing, I think the problem that you always see about this kind of railings, when you have the prefab balconies, metal balconies with the prefab slabs, we're building these balconies from scratch, you know. So that's why we have to put a curb in this location. The curb is an advantage of protection of anything rolling. At the same time, will give us more strength to the railing itself. And then we can have the scoppers facing out. So.
Okay. But you're gonna keep it at two. You're gonna keep it at 2 inches or less.
2 inches or less. That's in case you have it open. Now, if we put a curb, this thing is gone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Exactly. So the curb is probably the idea that will move forward to do.
I don't know if the curb is gonna work, but that's not me to design. I'm looking at the safety.
Yeah, the safety.
Because you're putting it in a, you know, obviously the building passed with all the balconies in front. When I saw that picture, my stomach turned, but that's a different story. But the balconies in the courtyard, you know, let's try to make it safe.
Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, at the time when we have the flush level of the balcony, if it's flush with the railing, we will keep the 2 inches maximum at the bottom rail. Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, anybody else? Questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
So, as you can see, 99% of the changes to this project were all architectural. We did file an amended set of civil plans, and I have the engineer here, but the only change really to the civil plans is the parameter of the parameter of the building. So I wasn't going to have them testify unless there's questions from anybody.
I don't think there will be, but anybody?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so then my next witness is Carolyn Worstel, the planner, just to review the deviations.
Okay, thank you.
With the board.
I do. Carolyn Worstel, W-O-R-S-T-E-L-L.
Ms. Worstel, good evening. Your license is current?
It is current this evening.
Okay, thank you. You're qualified.
Thank you. Nice to see everyone this evening.
Too.
So we're here because we have a couple of deviations that were previously granted that are obviously have some very minor modifications as a result of this proposed amendment. So I'm just going to sort of go through them very quickly. If we have questions, we can certainly bring back up some of the images to talk about where specifically these are. But so the first one is that front yard setback. So, and I sort of going back in time, if you can remember when we first approved this, there were setback deviations granted that basically put the building wall at 5 feet from the property line. And so that was the deviation that was granted previously. What's happening with this application is that we are modifying where the building sort of had some of the step backs and some of the like undulation of the facade. And so because we've made those changes, the proportion of the facade that is at that 5 foot line, setback line, has changed. And so we're here because a slightly larger percentage of the building facade is at that 5 foot. We're not any closer to the lot line than was previously granted. It's just that there's more of the facade at that 5 foot line. So that is why we're here for those front yard setback variances. And that happens on both West Side Avenue, which is where you were sort of seeing that because of how they modified the bays, there's a little bit of push and pull that's a little different. as well as on Fisk Street, where originally there was a little bit of an inset above sort of the ground floor, and now they've sort of straightened that out where the old building connects to the new building. So because of those modifications to the structure in that way, we're here for additional relief because there's more of the building at that 5-foot line. I don't see there being a substantial impact to light and air as a result of these modifications. The overall building facade is where it was previously granted. You're still at that 5 feet. And so I don't see this as a substantial detriment or a substantial change from what was previously granted. The second one is for the minimum side yard setback. And this has to do with some of those, again, minor modifications in that rear yard area where the building meets, essentially you've got trying to straighten out certain aspects of it, straighten out the building. And it's just minor modifications. I think it's 6 inches is what we're requesting, where we had a side yard setback of 2.3 feet. Or we're asking now for 2.3, where we were previously granted 2.8. So it's 6 inches closer in one very small portion of the building at that rear facade, where we are going up against a portion of the rear yard setback, or the rear lot line, which wasn't, or side yard that wasn't fully straight. So again, I don't see that this is really a substantial impact. It's not really a substantial change. It's really a very de minimis change from what was previously granted, and really won't result in any substantial impacts, again, to light and air versus what has already been granted. And then in terms of the building coverage, and again, this again relates to those very minor modifications that we talked about along the front lot line, with how the facade has changed a little bit, and those minor changes in the sort of rear corner area. And that has resulted in essentially a building coverage increasing from 8.3% or 88.3% to 88.6%. So that's 0.3%. So again, we don't see this as really a substantial deviation. The majority of those changes are happening at the front of the building. So really where you're getting that additional coverage, you're looking at, it was over the sidewalk or those sorts of areas. So we've actually managed to decrease our lot coverage, even though we're increasing our building coverage as a result of some of these modifications. So again, I don't see these as being really a substantial detriment or impact beyond what has been previously granted. I do think that this project continues to promote the purposes of the municipal land use law, consistent with Purpose A, encouraging municipal action to guide the appropriate use, that will promote public health, safety, and general welfare. Again, this is still a use and development that is consistent with what was intended to be developed here, a multifamily residential building along West Side Avenue. It will still provide sufficient space for the residential use consistent with Purpose G, promoting a more desirable visual environment consistent with Purpose I, again through the adaptive reuse of the existing industrial building and incorporating it into the overall site design. Looking at the negative criteria, I do not see this resulting in a substantial detriment to the general welfare. While we are having those minor increases in those previously granted deviations, elsewhere we're reducing some of the previously granted impacts. So again, we're reducing that lot coverage from 95.4 to 94.7. So we are having a minor decrease there. We are increasing that rear yard setback from 12.3 to 12.5 feet. We're still continuing to meet provide all those benefits which were part of the original application. Eliminating existing curb cuts on West Side Avenue, providing infill residential development, which provides additional walkability and vitality to the West Side Avenue corridor, adaptive reuse of the existing structure, and providing benefits to the neighborhood, including new street trees, sidewalks, and having the off-street parking. So this project continues.
And affordable housing.
And affordable housing, yes. And so it continues those benefits which were part of the original application. I don't see this as resulting in a substantial impairment to the intent or purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance. It still advances the purposes of the West Side Avenue redevelopment plan, providing a significant opportunity for residential development, promoting the principles of a transit village by providing a variety of housing choices, and minimizing automobile use by encouraging reduced parking and creating pedestrian-friendly streets. So that was what was that was created and benefits of the original application, and I believe that those benefits are still being advanced with this proposed amendment. So overall, I think the requested deviation, the amendments to the deviations can be granted, and that they both meet the positive and the negative criteria.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Anybody?
No.
All right, thank you. Council?
That concludes my presentation.
All right. Is there anybody here from public that wants to comment on this
Seeing no
application?
public, I move to close.
Second.
All right, motion is made and seconded. Public is closed. Matt, you have any concerns?
Staff agrees with the testimony put on the record regarding the de minimis changes to the application. The increase in the 2 units, they already put on the record that they are recognizing the fact that they now have a contribution that's required under the affordable housing overlay, which is also a recommended condition in the staff memo. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve case P 2024-0147.
Just 1 second. There is one thing. There, along Fisk Street, the plans don't show any lighting. Because there's existing lighting at Fisk Street. So what Mr. Ward and I have decided to do is, as a condition of this approval, the engineers are going to go back out. They're going to do a study for the lighting along Fisk Street. And then if we need to add more lighting to bring the lighting along the street up to the 1-foot candle requirement, we are going to provide it prior to the issuance of a CO. So just wanted to put that on the record. Mr. Ward and I have discussed it, and I expect it would be a condition of our approval.
Understood. Yep, I agree. And it's just been a while since this was first scheduled to today.
And
So thank you for that.
That wouldn't trigger an amendment with us, correct?
No,
we're asking the board to allow staff to work with the applicant to adjust.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
We have transportation comments, memo dated December 23rd, 2024. We have already reviewed these, and we will agree to work with Division of Transportation to revise our plans in accordance with conversations with them over these concerns.
Okay, excellent.
Matt, we need some help with you on the brick selection?
Oh, I thought we selected that.
But I want to show you the sample, so can we connect with you directly to show you the samples of the brick?
That's acceptable to me, if it is acceptable to the board.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your trust.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
We're good, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you.
I'd like to make a motion now to approve case P 2024-0147 as presented to the board tonight with the additional condition about the lighting and work with staff on lighting and brick color, et cetera.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second for approval with conditions.
Vice Chair, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think the changes being sought are de minimis, and they advance the West Side the redevelopment plan, West Side Avenue.
Commissioner Wick.
Vote aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Torres.
Yeah, I think the changes for the project, but I think that project's gonna really look good on that neighborhood, on that block, it's gonna make a big difference to that section of West Side that it fits. I vote aye.
Commissioner Stamato,
I'm impressed with the balcony changes, and I vote aye.
Commissioner Dr. Desai.
Aye.
Oh, Commissioner Lipsky,
Did you say? Forgot.
Aye.
and Chairman Langston. Yeah, I think the changes are de minimis, and I, even though they are, I think it's a better project. So it's an easy aye for me. Motion carries all in favor on a motion approved with conditions. All right, thank you.
Thank you for your
Council.
time tonight, everybody. Appreciate it.
Mike, do you want to get a break in? Okay. I think when we come back, Mr. Wine, how do we look? We gonna make it?
Yeah, for case 13. We can
Yes.
certainly do. That's
Okay.
how I roll. And case 20, I'll put on the record now to formally request to carry to August.
Okay.
But I can do that when we get back.
Okay, sure. But I think I might change an order around. Mr. Burke, maybe I'll have you go next. Mr. Wine after, and then Jersey Ave. We'll close the night out with Jersey Ave tonight. They'll be quick. That's why I'm moving them. Don't worry. Item 12 is case P2024-0158, minor site plan for 305 3rd Street.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Board. To pick up on what you said, in the words of Coach John Wooden, we'll be quick, but we will not hurry. So we will get through this.
Cruel but fair, we did.
Or, as he said, it's better to do it right, because when will you have time to redo it again?
That's right.
Go,
So,
Coach.
The description is very accurate, so I'll bypass that. I'll just mention we have two witnesses. One is Jensen Vasel, the architect, and then we also have Brian Liebskin, the engineer. So I'll bring Mr. Vasel up first. He'll walk through the plans. Hopefully, he can do that quickly, and then we'll turn it back to the board for any questions. And then Brian will come up to just basically touch base and make sure minor site plan issues have been addressed so that this board can proceed and hopefully give it a vote. Thumbs up. Thank you.
All right, thank you, counsel.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Oh, dear.
This one? Thank you. I do. Jensen Vasel, V as in Victor, ASIL.
Mr. Vasel, good evening. We've qualified you in the past. Your license is current?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thanks. You're qualified.
Thank you.
All right, Jensen, just a couple questions and then turn to the plans. Presently, the site has a one-story building, correct?
2 stories.
2 stories, I'm sorry. And the intent is to demolish that building. But there's also a curb cut, and there's 2 parking spaces on site now.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. I just want to set the table for that. Why don't you proceed and walk through the plans?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jensen Vasel. I'm the architect for this project at 305 3rd Street. As Mr. Burke introduced, we'd be demolishing an existing 2-story, 3-family building and constructing a conforming 4-story, 4-unit building on the lot. Everything about from the ordinance perspective is conforming, so the lot is conforming, the proposed building is conforming, and as you'll see, the landscaping, hardscaping, all of that is conforming. On the front page is the zoning table prepared by our engineer. As you can see, there are no variances required. We're within the height, permitted height, within the rear yard setbacks and a density and all the other requirements. So the proposed building is 100% lot coverage. So we would be bringing that back to 70%, which is an improvement on the density of the site or the coverage on the site. The proposed building would be situated towards 3rd Street. It is on the it is just off the corner of 3rd Street on the south side, and it does have a public alleyway in the back. Excuse me, on the north side of the south side of 3rd Street. That's correct. And there's a public alleyway that comes from Cole Street that has the parking. The existing parking is internal. It has 2 garage spots inside the building. Those would be eliminated, and now it would be open with with a place for one parking and also some landscaping in the back, landscaping and hardscaping. the front building, the front of the sidewalk would be redone, and there would be a street tree added, and new utilities for the building.
And the facade, did you work to mesh it with the buildings adjacent or fit into the neighborhood?
So we have, the building is large glass aluminum panels, or glass windows with aluminum frames in black, and the siding material is cement, fiber cement panels. So it's panels around the portions that aren't glass, specifically the spandrels and at the parapet. And there's a different texture, a plank texture towards the door, with a backlit bronze compliant signage for the address for 305, as well as the entry door. And the building is raised. I should also note that it's raised to elevate to above the design flood elevation. So the building is about 3 feet above the prevailing grade at the sidewalk and about 4.5 feet above the prevailing grade at the rear. There is a small aluminum overhang which would protect the entrance from at the entry door. And as they enter into the building, I'm sorry to skip around the sheet Z1, they step up to the design flood elevation. So the entrance is at grade, and then it goes up into the building itself. As I mentioned, the building is 4 units. They're 2-bedroom units, and they have most of them. 3 of them have 3 bathrooms. 1 has 2.5, and they range in size from 1,410 square feet to 1,753 square feet. The building is on one side, it's completely covered by the adjacent building, and on the opposing, on the 303 side, on sheet Z3, you can see where our building extends past that 303 3rd Street building. So the side also would have the same fiber cement panels would wrap around. One last thing to note is the outdoor space, the Unit 2, which is in the rear of the rear duplex, would have access to the backyard, and units 3 and 4, which are the duplexes upstairs, would have access to the roof. The roof decks are conforming, and what isn't covered by the roof decks is covered by extensive green roof, which we have a detail included in this set.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Watanabe is the name of the building?
No, that's just a sample for the backlit signage.
Okay.
Correct.
I was hoping it was
No,
a relation to Graham Watanabe, 2009 silver medalist snowboarding. That's my only question. Anybody else?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council. He's American. It was the Aspen Olympics.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, should we open up to the public for questions?
I thought you had one more.
We
witness.
do. Oh, that's right. I forget.
That's
Other
okay.
towns, it's one at a time. Here, it's en masse. Okay. Second witness will be our engineer, Brian Leapskin.
Do you swear any testimony you give tonight is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And for the record, can you state and spell your name?
Sure. Brian Liebeskind, Liebeskind.
Mr. Liebeskin, good evening. Your license is current tonight?
It is.
Okay, thank you. You're qualified.
Thank you.
All right, so Brian, I would just like you to confirm that from a site plan, minor site plan issues, this project meets those as far as water capacity, sewer lines, and so forth. And then also, you did a shadow study, so I'd like you to touch upon that there's no issue involved as far as a detriment to the neighboring properties.
Correct. Yeah, in regards to utility connections, shadow analysis, all complies with the requirements of the city, and no concerns.
All right, so from a site plan, from Jersey City minor site plan criteria, you believe that it meets all the criteria, and this board can grant an approval based on your statement?
Yes. Yeah, and the architect alluded to some of the site plan improvements. And, you know, we are, again, a fully compliant project with the RC3 zoning. You know, and then also as mentioned, existing condition today, 100% lot coverage, proposed 70%, so creating that rear yard patio with one parking space. We worked with the city professionals, you know, to adjust that rear yard to improve the maneuverability of cars pulling in and to not impede the 10-foot wide alley that exists behind the property.
All right, and I said that there's already a curb cut. There were 2 spaces. They'll be reduced to 1, correct? 2 parking spaces reduced to 1 space now.
The existing lot is 100%.
No,
Oh, sorry.
for parking.
Yes.
There is 2 parking spaces existing now with a curb cut, and the proposal is 1 space, so it'll be reduced by 1, right?
Yeah,
There'll be one-
sorry,
yeah.
yes, I guess it'll be a one surface.
Yeah, that's it,
right,
that's,
yes.
right, I just want you to confirm that. Okay, that's it for this witness.
Okay, thank you. I have no questions.
I
Anybody
have
else?
a quick question. You keep saying that's the rear of the building where the alley is where the curb cut is, right? That you keep mentioning too?
Yes, yes,
So you go through the alley on Cole Street,
yes,
and there's a bunch of garages behind each building.
correct.
And there's a sidewalk there with a curb cut?
No, he was referring to the front. The back, there's no sidewalk.
In the alley?
In the alley, there's no sidewalk.
So we're putting a curb cut in the front of the building?
No, there is no additional curb cut. No, I just want to confirm there is one and it's going to remain.
There's a curb cut there's a curb in the alley, no sidewalk, is that?
Correct.
And there's not a curb cut on Third Street?
Correct.
No curb cut on Third Street?
Correct.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what you
Sorry if that was
confused me,
confusing. Yeah.
So we have it's wide enough for 2 to curb cut, you're gonna make it,
1,
okay.
yeah. 2 have been there, because it's been
Runoff.
used.
I don't remember a curb cut over there.
Runoff.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Any questions?
Nope.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Council, that's it?
That concludes our presentation.
Okay, is there anybody here from public that wants to comment on this
No public, I
application?
move to close the public portion.
Second.
All right, motion is made and seconded. Public is closed. Jenru, anything?
Yes. Staff prepared a staff report dated April 16th, 2025. And I would just ask if the applicants have reviewed and agreed to the conditions.
The applicant reviewed it and agrees to those conditions.
Okay, staff recommend approval.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve case P 2024-0158 as presented to our board tonight.
All right, motion is made and seconded for approval.
Vice Chair Dr. Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Week.
Aye.
Commissioner Stamato.
Aye.
Commissioner Lipsky.
Give you one more, John Wooden. It's not important who starts the game, and it's who's finished. Good finish. I vote aye.
Commissioner Dr. Desai.
Aye.
Commissioner Torres.
Aye.
And Chairman Linston.
Aye.
Motion carries so in favor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Council. All right, let's call item 13 is case P2024-0245 as a conditional use for 33 McAdoo Avenue. Council, do you want to take care of the second thing before we take care of the first thing?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So you are going to carry item 20, case P2024-0242.
Yes.
Preliminary and final major site plan with C variances for 194 and 196 Culver Avenue.
That's correct, and in speaking to Mr. Black, we would respectfully request that that be carried to August 26th with preservation of notice.
All right. Cam?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, August 26th. So we're going to carry that to August 26th with preservation of notice. Thank you. That's 20. It's the last one.
All right.
26th.
Okay, so with that, Chairman, Commissioners Benjamin Wine of Prime Tuvel and Maselli on behalf of the applicant, McAdoo Realty LLC. Just by way of housekeeping first, we did prepare a notice, and it is posted on the portal, but I will nevertheless hand the original to Mr. O'Leary.
Chairman, receive the affidavit of service proof of publication with respect to the application at 33 McAdoo Avenue here in the city. It does appear to be the same one that was posted to the portal. had the opportunity to review it. Does appear to be in order. We're going to mark it as A1 for purpose of the record.
I'm actually glad for that because my paralegal was out today, so I assembled that myself. So good for me. With that, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Still can't figure out how to do a UPS label, though. That's.
That wasn't on the citizenship test, right?
It was not.
Okay, good, good.
So I'll briefly introduce the application this evening, and I do have one witness for you. The application is at 33 McAdoo Avenue, and for the record, that's block 27004, lot 4, and we are in the R1 district. This is somewhat of an interesting location of a lot. It's not on a corner, but it kind of is on a corner, as you'll see it's in Cam's staff report, is a good image of that. It's also on the plans that you see there. This is one of those applications that I think when the governing body overhauled the land development ordinance a couple of years ago, this was exactly what they had in mind when they proposed these conditional uses of converting an existing garage into a third dwelling unit on the property. This is a site, as you'll see from our architect and as you see on the page now, it's got a curb cut leading to a garage on kind of a weird angle right on McAdoo Avenue. And ultimately what we're going to do this evening, if the board approves it, is to close up that curb cut and convert that garage into a third unit. And like I said, I think this is exactly the intent of that conditional use. What I intend to do this evening with my one witness, our architect, is to walk through those, predominantly through those conditions of the conditional use, so that Mr. Black especially can be confident and comfortable that we do meet the conditional use. Beyond that, we have no variances associated with this application. And Chair, unless you have any questions of me, I'm happy to proceed with my witness.
Sure, go ahead.
So I'd like to call up Alan Feld, our project architect. I'll shift over for you.
You swear any testimony you give tonight is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And for the record, can you state and spell your name?
Alan Feld, F-E-L-D.
Mr. Feld, good evening. Your license is current?
I just renewed it, so yes, it is.
Good to hear. All right, thank you. You're qualified.
So Alan, if you can just, if you can direct Mr. Black as to what sheet you'd like to refer to and very briefly walk the board through what exists and how we're converting it this evening.
Correct. I think we could even start on drawing A2.
Okay.
Because that's a site plan, shows the existing plan on the left. It's an existing 3-story frame building. And the proposed plan on the right shows the changes to the sidewalk. There is a curb cut now. There's a garage on the first floor and 2 apartments on the second and third floor. There's 2 apartments up above, one on the second floor, one on the third floor. And there's a garage on the first floor with a curb cut on McAdoo Avenue. We intend to close that curb cut up, put new paving and a new planter in front of the building and plant a new street tree. We go to the next page. There you can see, again, the proposed site plan and the proposed elevation where we're going to replace the overhead door that's for the garage with a pair of double hung windows. And there's some samples of the paving and the landscaping. It's going to be a raised planter bed. And here we have the existing, on the left, the existing first floor, which shows the garage and an area behind it. And then the proposed first floor, which is a 3-bedroom dwelling unit. And the second floor is also 3 bedrooms, and the third floor 3 bedrooms units, which there's no change to those. And these are just electrical drawings for the new work to be done in the new dwelling unit on the first floor and other schematic.
So Alan, I just want to walk through, and I'm reading directly out of Mr. Black's report, I just want to walk through what those conditions are of the conditional use so you can confirm for the record that we do in fact comply. So the first one is that adaptive reuse of a garage as a dwelling unit is permitted subject to the following conditions. So a maximum of 1 additional dwelling unit is permitted for a maximum of 3 dwelling units in the principal structure regardless of lot size. Is that correct here?
That is correct.
Okay, so we're adding 1 and it's a total of 3.
Correct.
Okay. The second condition is that the adaptive reuse of the garage be for a dwelling unit. Is that correct? It will be a residence?
Solely correct.
Okay. The third is that removal of the driveway and curb cut and prohibition of any off-street parking. So that will be done. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. We will also be installing new curb and complying with the forestry standards. Is that right?
That is correct.
And there's 2 more. And if the front yard is 3 feet deep or more, which I think you identified it is here, we will be installing a knee wall planter in the front yard and landscaping it with ground cover. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and then finally, which I don't think this is applicable, but the portion of the garage not used as a dwelling unit can be used for storage, mechanical refuse, or other uses. Are we even proposing that here?
No.
Okay. So I believe that is the entirety of the conditions of the conditional use. So, Chair, I don't have any further questions for Mr. Feld at this point.
Okay, thank you. I have no questions. Anybody else?
No.
All right, thank you, Mr. Feld.
That
that's your
conclude
case?
my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Is anybody here from public that wants to comment?
Seeing no public, I move to close.
Second.
All right, motion is made and seconded. Public is closed. Cam, sorry. You have anything you want to add?
Only to add
Yeah.
that this meets the purpose of the R1 zone to accommodate existing housing, encourage compatible infill, preserve the streetscape, and utilize and preserve on-street parking where lot frontage is narrow. In this case, we are providing for compatible infill and accommodating a nice adaptation to provide for more housing in the city. Testimony provided by Ben and the architect have satisfied all staff's concerns, and we did hear, did you agree to all the conditions in the staff memo?
I would never do that. I'm kidding. Of course we do, yes.
Okay, so with that, planning staff recommends approval.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve case P 2024-0245 as presented to our board tonight.
Second.
All right, motion made and seconded for approval.
All right, Vice Chair, Dr. Gonzalez?
Aye.
Commissioner Wick? Commissioner Torres? Commissioner Stamato?
Aye.
Commissioner Lipsky?
Given that Mr. Wine has gone against his convictions and complied with staff recommendations, I will still vote aye.
Commissioner Dr. Desai?
Aye.
And Chairman Langston?
Yeah, so this is the exact, you hit the nail on the head. This is the exact project that,
So you can make. If you.
change
You can make
references. So it's an easy aye for me. I think it's great.
Thank you.
Motion carries all in favor with conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody
Thank you,
have a
Council.
good evening.
You too. All right, let's call item 11 is case P2024-0126 is a final major site plan with C variance for 853 Jersey Avenue. Good evening, Council, sorry.
Good evening. Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you so much. Maria Vallejo from Chase and Lamparello, Malin Capuzzo, on behalf of the applicant. This is a notice application. The notice has been uploaded onto Tyler. I do have the original notice for you, if I may.
Please, thank you. Chairman, received the affidavit of publication proof of mailing with respect to the application here this evening. It does appear to be the original of the one that was uploaded to the portal. Had the opportunity to review it. It all did appear to be in order. We're going to mark it as A1 for purposes of the record.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you so much. All right, so we are here today seeking final major site plan approval for a project. It's a mixed-use project at 853 Jersey Avenue. That's a vacant lot located at 853 Jersey Ave. That's Jersey Avenue and 18th Street, or 18th Street between Jersey Avenue and Cole Street. That's block 6005. Lot 10, that's a mixed-use density area, and that's on the Jersey Avenue Park redevelopment plan, okay? And we were back here with you back in August 2023. Some of you are new, so you may not know this, but for those of you who are here, you may remember we were here for preliminary site plan approval. And back then, we received approval for the following, and this is exactly what we're presenting to you today for final approval. 322 units, residential units, in 2 towers, a 19-story tower, a 13-story tower, a 3-story podium, 2 floors of which are going to be a garage housing 166 parking units, 166 also bicycle parking. There is also going to be retail on the ground floor. Part of that approval also consisted of a deviation with the sidewalk width on Cole Street as well as 18th Street. It's a slight deviation. It really sort of conforms with the appropriate properties across the street, which is the cast iron lofts. That deviation stays. We're not asking for anything different. Essentially, we're looking for the same relief that we were looking for and what we already received approval for in the preliminary site plan. So nothing really changes there. There's some slight changes that we are asking for, but those changes are really born from some requests that came from the city planning, some requests that came from the forestry department, as well as complying with the state stormwater regs. Little things like changes in the type of species for the trees, adding tree grates, removing some on-street parking spaces as a result of where the entrance to the garage is situated. Those are the types of requests that were made and that we've incorporated in here. So the plan is that we're going to walk you through the project, reorient everybody in here, those who weren't part of the project in 2023, acclimate you to it, and then highlight the portions, the small changes that we have. So everybody knows those changes, and then present that to you. We have 3 witnesses. We have an engineer. We have our architect who's also going to be talking about our landscape, as well as then our planner. We have 2 slide decks, which is essentially the same documents that we have uploaded. The slide decks are for the engineering. There are 4 pages, and for our architect, it's 11 pages. So, Council, I don't know if you want us to mark them now.
Yeah, we can mark them as they get presented. We can mark them as A2 and A3 respectively if they're going to be used by different witnesses and identified that way. But Council, in my review of the plan, it seemed that, and based on your comments, the majority of the project has not changed. There are some clear slight changes. I don't know that we got to go through the entire preliminary version of the application again, or if we can just really kind of identify what's changed as a result of moving into final site plan.
Oh, absolutely. We can abbreviate it much more if you'd like. You're absolutely correct that the majority of it is identical to what has already been approved, and there's just those slight changes, and they can highlight that. We can do that for them, correct? Yep. So we can really streamline that for you.
Yeah, let's just highlight what's different from the preliminary versus the
Absolutely.
final. Okay.
So if that's okay, we can go ahead and move forward with our first witness, who is Gabrielle Gurnelli.
Sure.
Thank you.
It's happening a lot tonight.
Extra HDMIs floating around.
Here, that's okay. Hopefully it works. That's not the right thing. Sorry, I was on vacation last week. I do. Gabrielle Gornelli, Gornelli.
Evening, your license is current tonight?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. You're qualified.
Thank you. So I'll flip through I have the cover sheet here, sheet G001 from the civil drawings, but I'll go right to C301, our site plan, to highlight the changes that have been made between the preliminary approval and the final. So just a handful of changes. We have coordinated with the architect, the landscape architect, to make any necessary changes to the background, but specifically to the civil drawings, there has been some new striping on the surrounding roads since the original application on Cole Street, 18th and Jersey. So we incorporate that existing striping just to make it more accurate, mainly in the striping of a bike lane. And part of that, there is a ramp from the existing bike lane on Cole Street, which goes to the bike lane in the rear of the property. So our tree location interferes with that ramp. So we added a note basically that this ramp will be relocated in coordination with city planning, so that that transition from the street bike lane to the bike lane in the rear of the property can remain. We also, there's a parking space on the street right here, just north of the garage entrance, that there was a request to remove that parking space because of, the cars coming in and out of the garage get close to that. So that parking space, that striping will be removed. And then we modified at the corner of 18th and Jersey. There were a few tree pits here that there was a request from the forester and city planning to eliminate some of the trees here, which the architect will talk about. So we have just planting at the corner here. So the next sheet is C311. It's our circulation plan, and this shows both a passenger car and a SU30, like a typical box truck for deliveries, entering the garage. And that's where that one space that gets really close to the curb cut has been eliminated on the street. And then finally, I have my C401 sheet, my grading, drainage, and utility plan. Since the initial submission, when we went for preliminary, the state stormwater rules as well as the Jersey City stormwater control ordinance has changed. It requires us to model stormwater in a different way, and also to use green infrastructure components of detention basins when previously that wasn't required. So our stormwater detention basin has changed from a non-green strategy to a green strategy, when previously it was located under the building, and right now we have it shown in the rear of the site. So that concludes the civil testimony, unless there's any questions.
I have none. Anybody else?
Nope.
Just the eliminating of the parking space where the trucks are gonna be coming in and out, is just gonna be basic signs saying no parking, or how are you,
Yeah,
what are you putting there that somebody doesn't park there anyway?
right now it is striped as a parking space, but I think we could agree to a no parking sign there.
That would be no problem. We could put that
No
in.
parking
Yeah.
sign,
Yeah.
and, or maybe like
Stripe it
where
off like a
it's-
diagonal stripe. so that-
Diagonal stripes where it's not,
Yeah,
that somebody just doesn't park there
Right.
anyway, right? 'Cause
Right.
to say it's eliminated doesn't mean somebody's not
someone
gonna
won't
pull a
park
car
there.
up there.
Yeah, I think we can make that change.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? All right, thank you, Ms. Cornell.
Thank you. Guess unplugged.
Don't break that cable.
And if it's okay. And at this point, if I can call my architect?
Sure.
Scott Herrick?
You swear any testimony you give tonight's gonna be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
For the record, can you state and spell your name?
Scott Herrick, last name is Herrick.
Mr. Herrick, good evening. Your license is current?
Good evening, yes it is.
Okay, thank you. You're qualified.
Give me half a second. So as council stated, the building is substantially 99 point something percent the same as what was approved, submitted, presented, and approved a couple years ago. And I'll just quickly walk through and point out the things that have changed.
Council, does any of this have to be marked? That was something else.
So this does have to be marked as well. I'm too short for this. Mike,
right.
sorry for that. So this is 11 slides.
All right, so we'll mark this as A2. It's 11 slides.
And these slides are all taken from the full package that was submitted
to the planning board. So just quickly, you can see here the image of the project. The 19-story tower is in the foreground on Jersey Ave. The podium, as was talked about, joins the two. It's topped by a amenity rooftop deck, and then the 13-story tower is in the back of the rendering view here. Just quickly, this is the site plan with the two towers and joining podium. Floor plan, again, the overall characteristics of the building have not changed. It's 322 units. It's 4,847 square feet of retail on the ground floor. It's over on this right-hand side on Jersey Avenue is the retail. And then those two combine to create a requirement for 166 parking spaces, and that's what's provided. One of the changes in the plan was just minor. We bubbled it. We just reconfigured bike storage to provide the required number of spots. Again, parking. There were some questions earlier. In the preliminary, we've labeled everything in terms of where refuse is, where recycling is. That's all been clarified on the plans. And then in the elevation view, the one notable change is that up at the rooftop mechanical units, we did provide screening. And that's, you can see over on the left here in the smaller tower, the west tower, and then on the east tower, a couple different places, and the elevation views from the other side just show the same thing. Materials are all the same. It's 3 different types of bricks, some concrete, all in warm tones, black aluminum metal trim on windows. And then landscape, as was mentioned, what we did was, at Forestry's request, we changed the tree species to trident maple, and we added the Jersey City approved tree pit guards with using the standard city details. And that's just what's shown on this last sheet. So in a nutshell, that is our presentation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Herrick. Any questions? Anyone? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And if we can call our last witness.
Of course.
Samuel Bellamy, who's our planner.
Good evening.
Hi, do you swear any testimony you give tonight is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Samuel Bellamy, last name Bellamy.
Mr. Bellamy, I know your license is current, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. You're qualified.
Great. So I'm just here to confirm that the deviations previously granted in the preliminary approval are still intact with this final approval. There hasn't been any change or intensification with the sidewalk with deviations of 11.08 feet on 18th Street and 12 feet on Cole Street, where 15 feet is required. So those same dimensions are in place here. You heard from both our engineer and architect. The streetscape improvements have been coordinated with the Jersey City departments, the forestry and planning and transportation. And on top of that, I think now the striping for the bike lanes along the sidewalks provide for a further buffer of the pedestrians and vehicles. So I think this project continues to meet both the positive and negative criteria. And as I said, there hasn't been any change from preliminary to final now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bellamy. Any questions, anyone?
And we've also had the opportunity, you've had the opportunity to take a look at the March 20th, 2025, actually not 2024, comment letter from city planning?
Yeah, so just 2 minor comments. I think it was dated 2024 instead of 2025.
Correct, it was 2025 in actuality.
And there was one, I think, typo in comment 7. It should be work instead of, what was that? It said park, and I think it should be work, the second to last sentence in there.
Yes, the applicant shall coordinate with staff, the Department of Infrastructure to ensure duplication of work is minimized and both projects can continue unimpeded, including the final programming of the public right-of-way to the greatest extent possible.
Yep.
Yes, that is the intent.
And I think other than that, we were acceptable of all the conditions in that staff report.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.
And that concludes our presentation.
All right, thank you, Council. Is anybody here from the public that wants to comment?
Seeing no public, I move to close.
Second.
All right, motion is made and seconded. Public is closed. Matt?
Certainly. Mr. Bellamy already addressed the memo conditions, and the staff agreed to abide by them. Staff recommends approval with conditions. I just want to note for the benefit of the board that the street conditions that Ms. Garnelli talked about are currently in what our transportation staff calls quick build, which is, you see the Jersey barriers, the plastic bollards, et cetera. It's the quick, we can get the paint on the ground and make things safer for folks immediately while we amass resources for a more permanent design. City transportation staff has let city planning know, as well as the applicant, that there's an intention to reconstruct and reprogram this streetscape at some point in the near future. And just to safeguard that, the applicant agreed as a condition to cooperate with that. And then if any changes to landscaping, sidewalk design, or street tree placement be necessitated by that reconstruction, that be safeguarded as an administrative approval subject to staff review.
Sure. I have no problem with that.
Staff recommends approval with conditions.
All right, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion at this time to approve case P 2024-0126 as presented to our board tonight.
All right, we have a motion and a second for approval.
Vice Chair Dr. Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Stamato.
Aye.
Commissioner Lipsky.
Yeah, throughout the night, there's been the word de minimis, and I think the change is de minimis, and I think the project's good. I vote aye.
Commissioner Dr. Desai.
Aye.
Commissioner Wick.
Aye.
Commissioner Torres.
Aye.
And Chairman Langston.
So I was a big fan of this project the first time I heard it. It's early enough. It's 8:15. I'm going to take you down a trip to memory.
Oh, my.
Motion.
Not good.
One of the first applications I heard when I got to this board was I don't know the name of it, but the one that sits on the back of Hoboken Ave. There was nothing other than cast iron lofts there at the time. So this has been, really fascinating to watch, and you know that, and you know that, Eddie. It's been excellent. So, this is a great addition to the neighborhood. I'm happily voting aye, and best of luck. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Motion carries. All in favor.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to memorialization of resolutions, please.
Okay, Mr. Chair, with your permission, I'd like to make a motion to approve the following 11 resolutions for memorialization, Resolution number 1 of the City of Jersey City Planning Board in the matter of 285 Liberty Avenue, designated as Block 3304, Lot 46, application number P 2024-0139, decided on July 15, 2025, and memorialized July 29, 2025, application for a minor site plan approval. Number 2 is City of Jersey City Planning Board in the matter of 109-111 Beacon Avenue, LLC, application number P 2025-0052, designated as Block 5704, Lots 4 and 3, located at 109 and 111 Beacon Avenue, decided July 15, 2024, memorialized July 29, 2025. Application for preliminary and final major site plan approval with C variance, deviation, and design waiver / exception relief. Resolution number 3 is the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City. Petitioner, the Honorable Councilman Richard Boggiano, Ward C, for finding of master plan consistency. Proposed amendment to the Journal Square 2060 redevelopment plan. Case number on this is P 2025-0122. Fourth resolution of the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City, applicant 305 3rd Street, SPE, LLC, property 305 3rd Street, Jersey City, New Jersey, Block 11106, Lot 7, for minor site plan approval, case number P 2024-0158, hearing date July 29, 2025, and the result approved. Resolution number 5, the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City, applicant JNS Equity Associates for a preliminary and final major site plan approval with C variances at 927-933 Communipaw Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey, Block 18102, lots 20 and 21, case number P2024-0185. Number 6 is resolution of the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City approving amendment to preliminary and final major site plan submitted by 25 River Drive, South Urban Renewal Company for Block 7302.02, lots 6 and 8. Case number on this was P2025-0076.
Let me close this out.
Resolution number 7 is resolution of the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City approving amendment to preliminary and final major site plan submitted by Tower America General Partnership for Block 7302, lots 46, case number P2025-0077. Resolution number 8 of the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City approving amendment to preliminary and final major site plan submitted by Tower East General Partnership for Block 7302, lots 45 and 46, case number P20-0078. Resolution number 9 of the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City approving amendment to preliminary and final major site plan submitted by 30 River Court East General Partnership for Block 7302, lots 33 and 31, case number P2025-0079. 10th resolution of the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City approving amendment to preliminary and final major site plan submitted by 20 River Court West General Partnership for Block 7302, lots 34 and 31, case number P2025-0081. And the latest and last resolution of the Planning Board of the City of Jersey City approving an amended preliminary and final major site plan with deviations and conditions. Applicant is Pathside Holding Company 2, LLC, address 499-501 Summit Ave, Block 9501, Lot 18, case number P2025-0066.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Could we have a roll call, please, Cam?
Vice Chair Dr. Gonzalez.
Aye.
Commissioner Wick. Commissioner Torres. Commissioner Stamato. Commissioner Lipsky.
Aye.
Commissioner Dr. Sai.
Aye.
And Chairman Langston.
Aye.
Motion carries all in favor to memorialize resolutions.
Thank you. Council, do you need executive session? You good? No. That's a no. Your silence is a no. So I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Second.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.